Good morning. This is Arun George, and let me welcome you all to this 10D in 30D challenge. 10 directs in 30 days. Next 30 days is going to be life-changing for each one of you. I promise you that. This will be one of those experiences where you will remember for a long time. Maybe some of you will remember this forever. You know, there are some experiences and moments and trainings in my last 20 years of this journey that I remember even today. And this is going to be one of those moments for you. So hold on, hang tight and stay there with me for 30 days. Now, this video right here, this will have two parts, part A and part B. And this is the part A. And these two videos probably are going to be the most important ones, especially for your mindset. Now, there will be lots of strategy trainings and trainings on what to say, how to say, and all that throughout these 30 days. But this video, this one is extremely important. What I'm going to talk to you for the next 30 minutes or so in this part A, and then the next one, the part B, is going to be about mindset that I want you to develop immediately and maintain that mindset throughout the challenge. And when you do that for the next 30 days, it will become your permanent mindset. So now the first time you listen to this, I don't want you to take any notes. All right. I want you to give me your 100% focus and attention. And then watch again. And then, you can take notes or whatever. But this time, the first time when you watch it, just give me your undivided attention. Now, if you learn from me nothing else but just the trainings in these two parts, the part A and part B, you will be 10 times better than you are. Just from these trainings of these two videos, you will be at least 10 times better a recruiting machine than you are right now. Now, this whole 30 days is about rewiring your brain, okay? Do you know how the rewiring process in your brain works? It's very interesting, okay? Now, if you want to know, let me give you a small 1-minute scientific overview of how that works. So now to give you this overview, let me switch my role from an upline to that of a doctor, okay? When I was small, it was my my parents' dream anyway that I become a doctor, which didn't happen. Now, even they are happy that it didn't happen. But let me become Dr. Arun for a minute and give you this information that I learned from real doctors. See, now, when we have a thought in our head, inside the brain, a thought is basically electricity passing through our brain cells. That's what a thought is. There are videos of capturing a thought. You can go to YouTube and search for videos on how a thought happens inside the brain. It's basically a flash of electricity, a tiny amount of electricity. So what happens is when you have a thought, various brain cells, okay, electricity passes through these various brain cells and a thought is completed, all right? Now, the first time a thought happens, that connection between these various brain cells is very temporary. It is very weak. Now, that connection separates out after that thought is completed. Now, when you repeat that thought many times over and over again, multiple times a day, many days, week after week, now slowly that connection becomes stronger. It does not separate out after that thought is completed. And the more you run the thought through your head, this connection becomes stronger and stronger. Okay, so how does thought occur in our brain? Something happens, like an external thing happens, and we suddenly react, think something about it, give a meaning to it, and that becomes a thought, right? And every time that external thing happens, now this thought becomes automatic and the connection is strong. And when a thought connection becomes very strong and automatic, do you know what the scientists call that now? Now, from a thought, it becomes a belief. A belief basically starts as a thought, but you've run it so many times that now it just becomes permanent. And every time something happens, that belief is triggered automatically. Okay. Now, can you change this? Of course you can. You know, our brain is very plastic, which means it can be changed. So let me tell you, okay, how this rewiring of the brain happens. Now, for that same situation, for you to rewire, you have to have a different thought pattern. Okay, so now you select how you want to think when that situation happens. And the first time you think that way, like normally the first time a thought happens, the connection is weak. All right, but you repeat that thought again and again and again, the new thought that you want to happen in your head when this situation happens. Now, slowly this thought becomes stronger and stronger. Now, when this becomes stronger and stronger, what also happens is the original connection does not get used anymore. And when that connection don't get used, the cells slowly start to separate out. And after some time, that connection is no more there. And that's when you're completely free from that belief. All right. So in the next 30 days, we will discuss a lot about what would be the most empowering thought or belief to have when it comes to handling a particular situation. Okay. Now, we all have this existing belief, which for most of us are not empowering. And then we slowly start thinking about that same situation in a different way. And at the end of 30 days, this becomes stronger and your old belief and old thoughts, completely go away. All right. So that's from me, Dr. Arun George. Now, let me switch back to being your upline. All right. Now, most of you in this group, you have never got an opportunity to work with me directly. Just a few of you have. And those of you who have worked with me one-on-one for many weeks or many months, you know that I am hardcore. Okay, I don't accept excuses. And the reason I don't accept any excuses from anyone is because if I start accepting excuses from anyone, then what I'm doing is I'm training myself to accept these excuses from me. And I don't want to give excuses. Okay, I want to reach a stage in my life where I give zero excuses to myself. And for that to happen, I have to stop accepting excuses from anybody else. So I don't accept any of your excuses. So, there's nothing personal. And each one of you here in this group, you are here because you want to achieve that goal of learning and mastering and being a recruiting machine. So I really hope that your ego is not that fragile. All right. So remaining in this group, by being in this group, you're actually giving me the permission to talk honestly upfront with you. Okay. There are 3 internal things that will prevent you from achieving your goal of 10 directs. Okay, so your goal of achieving 10 directs within the next 30 days, there are 3 things that will prevent you from achieving it. 3 internal things. And we have to remove these 3 things immediately from your mind. So what are these 3 things? Fear, doubt, indecision. All right, your fear, your doubt, and your indecision. These are the 3 things that will prevent you from achieving any goal for that matter. So indecision is this confusion in your mind. Okay, should I do this or not do it? Arun says, make a list. Should I make the list? I am already so many years in the business. Why should I make a list? I already know why the list has to be made. No big deal. I'm here in this group only to learn the strategies. I can make 10 directs happen anytime I want. Let me maybe try, but I'm not going to give 100%, or should I give? This is indecision, all right? And indecision, not being able to make up our mind and lock on to a decision, it's a huge problem. Indecision takes up so much of mental energy and focus from you. So make a decision and stick to it. I'll be telling you to do various things throughout these 30 days. Just decide to do it and do it. Don't sit on the fence. Every successful person, if there is one quality that they all have in common, it is this ability to, make decisions. All right. So just make the decision to do, whatever I tell you to do, and make the decision right now. Don't wait till I tell you what to do to evaluate it and make the decision. All right. This indecision, this wavering between things takes up so much of your mental space. Okay. So right now, make the decision that whatever Arun is going to tell me to do in the next 30 days, I'm just going to suspend my disbelief or my doubt or everything and just going to do it. Okay. And once you decide to do something, then just go for it 100%. There should be nothing that you should, that should scale you back from that 100%. You should not even go to the 99% area of your decision. Okay. So that's the first thing. Remove all indecision from your head. Commit, give the 100% for the next 30 days. Make the decision right now that yes, whatever it is, I'm going to do. Okay. Now the next thing is doubt. Okay. So fear, doubt, indecision. Remember? So doubt might come up. And that's very common. You will have doubt whether it is possible, whether I can do it, is it possible for me, whether the strategies will work, not work. Those kinds of doubts will happen, and that's perfectly okay. All right. What I don't want you to have is doubt about the company or the industry. Now, if you have those doubts, this training might not be very helpful for you. And that is why I was very careful in the selection process to make sure that you are at least, 6 months or 1 year in the business and you have achieved some level of success. Because if you have been in the business for that long and achieved some level of success, you have overcome this doubt about the company and the industry. Okay, those are basic doubts. I'm not saying having those doubts are wrong. That's not what I'm saying. But you need to overcome those doubts. And this training is only for people who have overcome the doubt of the company and the industry. Okay. So if I'm sure there is nobody in this group who have that kind of doubts. All right. But if you have, make sure that you clear it. Okay. Now, if doubt comes up in anything else, it is okay. And by the end of 30 days, all that doubt will be gone. All right. If you keep doing the activities that I'm asking you to do every day, all the self-doubt will vanish. Your knowledge and your competency will remove the doubt. All right. Okay. Now comes the ugly thing called fear. See, the fear that most people have that prevents them from becoming a recruiting machine is this fear of what will others think of me? What if they don't like network marketing, or what if they think it is a scam? Now, will I look like a stupid moron? Nobody wants to look like stupid moron. So that is that fear of what if I make a mistake? What will they think about me when I talk about this business? Okay, because of how they think about the business. Maybe they don't have a good opinion about the business. So what will they think about me? Will they think I am kind of a stupid person, useless person? This is the biggest problem with a lot of us. And this alone prevents us from becoming a successful recruiting machine. Okay. Now, are you ready to change that in you? This video is mainly to recondition and rewire that fear, the fear of what other people will think about you. Okay. And like I said, this one fear has been the biggest success killer for mankind. And not only our business, basically in everything that you do, this fear of what will other people think about me. Okay. Now, if you take any area in life, movies, sports, arts, anything, okay, most of us know people who are much more talented than those people in movies, say, for example, in Hollywood or Bollywood. We know people who are in local theaters or whatever, who are much more talented than them. Okay. We know kids who are much more talented than some of the players in national teams when they were kids. So the reason why the top ones reached the top is not because mainly of talent. It's because they were bold enough to go for it in spite of the other people making fun of them, or people telling them that they will never be able to reach that goal, or whatever it is. Okay, they had this boldness. The right word is boldness. They were bold enough to move forward in spite of all those problems. So now some of you might be thinking that, yeah, but their parents were successful in movies, or that's why they became they came into the industry, or things like that. Well, that might be true for a very small percentage of people, but for most of the people, that is not true. And even for those small group of people who got access because of their parents or connections or whatever, the only thing that they got was access. And most people who did not have this quality of boldness, they could not stay there, because they were surrounded by other successful people who genuinely became successful. And if these people did not match up to that level in terms of their abilities and that boldness, they were crushed, and they were not there after some time. So, okay, don't be crushed with your fear and insecurity. Our final goal in these 30 days is for you to be able to walk up to any person under any circumstance, anywhere in the world, no matter who they are, knowing, not hoping, knowing deep inside that you can charm them and leave that impression with them, which makes them feel that you are special. That is what we want to achieve in the next 30 days. Make you into that person, not hoping, but reaching a state in mind where you know that you can walk up to anyone in the world, anytime you want to, and achieve that outcome. Knowing that you can take that conversation to any direction you want to. It doesn't matter whether, it is the CEO of a company, or, a multi-millionaire, or even a homeless person on the street. Okay. Doesn't matter if the other person is trying to be negative or make fun of you. You can diffuse the situation playfully and redirect it to whatever direction you want it to go. Being able to break the ice with anyone without fear and being able to steer the conversation to any direction you want to. That is the end goal in the next 30 days. All right. Not just sign up somehow 10 people and win the challenge. Yes, you will sign up 10 people, or maybe much more than that if you follow what the teachings are in this group. Okay. Some of you, when you unleash that magic inside of you, you will sign up even 20 or 30 people in these 30 days. See, that magic that you have inside is being held captive under this fear. The fear of, what will happen if I make a mistake? Then I will look stupid. No one will like me. No one likes network marketing. If my family and friends come to know about this, they will make fun of me. The magic that you have inside is basically held captive inside this fear. Okay. Most of you keep thinking about your past failures. And because of that, you show a posture of fear, of desperation and uncertainty. That lack of confidence you have, your prospects can actually feel it. You can tell all the right words you want, but you cannot hide that energy that you give out when you have that desperation and that fear that you have when you focus on and think in your mind all those past failures. Okay, so when you keep focusing on that past failures, it just gives out this energy of somebody who is so desperate to get that sign up. Somehow you want to convince and get that sign up. That energy will flow through your words, through your actions, through your posture and all those things. So don't focus on your past failures. Whatever has happened has happened. All right. Now many of you are thinking that if I become a top earner, then I can also be like that. I can also have that posture and talk like how you are talking and all that stuff. But let me tell you something. You don't get that posture and that confidence after you become a top earner. It's the other way around. You work on becoming that person and you will become a top earner. Okay. So along with your activities and results, we will together work on making you that person. All right. That someone who, in their mind know that, I can walk up to anyone, anywhere in the world. Doesn't matter who that person is and achieve that result. Okay. Now let me share with you a mental framework that I have been using for a long time to get results. And I've shared this framework with many of you in the past. Okay. This is mindset, activities, results. This is the framework that I use: mindset, activities, and results. All right. Don't worry about taking notes. Like I told you, you can re-watch this any number of times and take notes. But right now, just give me your undivided attention. All right. And now I have actually found a better word for this framework, and that is belief, activities, results. Okay. And in short, BAR, B-A-R. Okay. So what does this framework mean? This framework of belief, activities, or actions and results. What does it mean? Let's look at results. If you don't like the results you're getting, then immediately that can be tracked back to the activities, right? So belief, activity, results. If you don't like the results you are getting, almost immediately that can be tracked back to the activities, the quantity of the activities, the number of activities, the quality of activities, or whatever. And if the activities have a problem, either with the quantity or quality, it is always the result of your belief. It's always a belief that either propels you or prevents your actions. And the activities that actually prevent you from doing things, it comes from these beliefs that you have towards those kind of activities. All right. Now we know that activities decide results. Okay. Most people understand and work on that part. Okay. Most people understand that, okay, my activities decide my results. So when they're not happy with the results they get, yes, they do work on the activities. They think, okay, I need to increase my basic activities. I need to increase this. I need to improve my skill, whatever. Okay. But one part most people never understand is the belief part. Okay. How important the belief is when it comes to affecting these other two areas. And even those people who understand this don't really work on it. Maybe they understand it at the back of their mind, but they don't really work on that belief because it directly affects their ego. Okay, see, belief is very personal. It's close to you. It's like your ego. And to admit that this belief is wrong and to work on it is not good. Your ego doesn't take it good. And it is difficult to work by yourself on your belief. Even for those people who agree that, okay, I have this limiting belief, I agree, it doesn't help me. It is difficult to work on yourself, on your belief. So you need mentors who are very strict. And these mentors will help you to change those limiting beliefs. So I'm happy that you are part of this special group that we have here. Okay, where we have this opportunity to work for the next 30 days to help you change your beliefs and some very important parts of your success. All right, even a slight change in these beliefs can cause very big impact on your activities and your results. All right, beliefs change the quality and quantity of your activities. Wrong beliefs negatively affect your activities and the results. Okay. So you must be very careful about who is putting these beliefs in you. Negative people around you will put negative beliefs like fear and doubt. Have you experienced it that sometimes when you interact with somebody for 10-15 minutes, after that you feel like as though you want to go take a shower. They have put so much of their doubt and fear in you that you just feel so depressed. So that is why I do my best to remove all kinds of negative and toxic people from my life. All right. See, like for example, in olden days, people believed that Earth was flat, right? And because of that belief, that belief affected a lot of their activities. So when it comes to recruiting your directs, the actions that you take or the actions that you don't take come from your beliefs. So remember this framework, beliefs, activities, results, or bar. So now the term raising your bar has a whole different meaning, right? So in this group together, we will work on all these three areas: belief, activities, and results throughout the next 30 days. All right. And for some of you, your beliefs about various things have already started to change just by listening to me for the last, 10-20 minutes or so. So take this group very seriously and learn whatever you can, from this by being here. I want you to understand that I had to reject almost 75% of the people who applied to be a part of this group. Okay. And even then, we ended up having a group bigger than what I really wanted. So you should consider yourself very lucky, not because of me, but because of this special group of people, that you are with. And each of us are going to help each other and push each other to make this huge change in your business. Okay. So how are you going to remove this fear from your mind? If you want, we can remove that fear right now. Okay. Instantly. Do you want to? This fear of what other people will think about me, whether I will make a mistake, whether I will look stupid, that fear. So if you're ready, I am ready. Okay, so let's get on with removing this fear. All right. Now, some of you are so focused on this goal that somehow I have to sign up 10 people. Okay, so somehow I have to sign up 10 people in the next 30 days and I want to prove it to myself. And to get those results, you will work hard on your activities. So you will increase the number of activities, you will learn the strategies and tactics and all that stuff. But when you focus so much on that, you will be affected by every rejection. Okay, every person saying no, every appointment that your prospect misses, or every time a prospect leaves the presentation early, all that will affect you badly. So now, what if you shift your focus from somehow getting the directs to mastering the psychology of prospecting, mastering human interaction and communication, changing the focus from I need to somehow convince this person and get a sale, changing the focus from that to let me learn about how people think, let me learn how they behave and react. Let me learn how to identify the people who have the desire and ability to succeed. Now, this opens up a whole new perspective, a whole new paradigm. Okay? Now, for a minute, just imagine, okay? Imagine what would happen if you were to become a master of this. When you become a master of human communication, interaction, and you are able to get a very high level of understanding of how they think, how would that change your life? Unbelievable, isn't it? Forget about all the money that you will earn in the business. But even your life itself, how big a change would it be? You will be like the elite commando, like the Navy SEAL, like Bruce Lee, or the judo master. Your level of understanding people, the situation, and how to help them change that situation and grow. If you improve that level of understanding that you have on people, that will be a game changer. No one can overpower you. If you choose to walk away from a prospect, it will be because you choose to do so. You realize that, maybe that person was not suitable for you or your team, and that is why you choose to walk away. It is not that you could not answer them. You just decided, I don't want this kind of negativity in my team, and you choose to walk away. But there is no situation that will be stronger than you. There will be no human interaction situation which will be more powerful than you. And when you become that kind of a person, it will become a game changer for you. Okay, so now if that becomes your goal, how do you achieve that goal? How do you become a master of something? Only one way, right? Learn and practice. Learn and practice. Learn and practice. See, learning alone won't help. It will only help you to become a library of knowledge. So unless you practice, you make mistakes, improve, make mistakes, improve, and you keep practicing, that skill and that personality does not get wired in your brain. Now, when it gets wired in your brain, that behavior becomes automatic. Okay, so that is why the boxers and other sports people practice a lot. They just practice the same thing a lot. Okay, see, like during a boxing match, the boxer doesn't have the time to think and remember what his coach told him when his opponent is punching, to his face. If that knowledge is not already in the body to duck, that knowledge, if it's not already in the body to react faster than his mind can think and analyze, then the boxer will be knocked down. Okay, so in sports, this is called muscle memory. Okay, so if you want to practice this human communication, interaction, their thought process and all that stuff, and if you want to become a master in that, what better opportunity than network marketing? You now have a reason to approach people. There is a direction you want to move the conversation. You begin to understand the different elements of your communication that will either lead you to one direction or lead you away from it. So if you want to become a master of something, you got to find a way to practice it with a huge number of people. All right, and that is why professional sports people are better than the amateur ones. Okay, because the professionals, they practice it and they get paid to practice it, but the amateur ones, they play it as a hobby. The professionals, they keep practicing it every day, for months or years. So network marketing is like professional sports for you. You will make money even while you practice it, with this human interaction and communication game. All right, so if you are going to be focused on just getting the sale somehow, then every no, every rejection, every time a prospect doesn't turn up, it will affect you. It will demotivate you. Okay, and not just this area of getting directs. Okay, whether it is trying to do the F2 for your directs, whether it is trying to work with somebody to get to 4 levels of duplication, if you only focus on somehow getting the results, then every time a small hurdle happens, you will feel a little bit down and demotivated. But if you're focused on learning, practicing, improving this most important skill, okay, and this skill is not just important only in your business, but for life itself. And if you focus on learning and practicing and improving this, it takes the pressure off of you. All right, now you just focus on you're just focusing on playing this game with that one person in front of you. Okay, and you don't have to win against every person, but let every practice make you slightly better than before. Okay, when professional people practice, they practice with the intention of getting better in one area of their sports or music or art or whatever. Okay, the practice is not just casual practice, they practice with a very specific intention. So what if you practice the same way? So for the first few days, you practice on really getting good at that first 2-3 minutes of your conversation with the prospect. Just the first 2-3 minutes part. Whether it is on social media, okay, if it is in social media, let us say you practice to get perfect and really nail down the first 10-20 exchanges of messages that will set the tone and direction of your conversation with that person. All right, and if it's in person, really nailing down the first 5 minutes of your interaction with that person. And if you're on the phone, really nailing down that first 2 or 3 minutes, or even the first 90 seconds for that matter. Okay, because if you really nail it down, that sets the tone and direction for your conversation, right? And when you practice this intentionally, time it again, you will get extremely good at this. So record yourself doing it and write down every word that you and your prospect said. Look at how you could have changed maybe some words, or inserted a question somewhere, or added something here, or removed something somewhere. And just look at how that could have changed the whole direction of that particular conversation. Look at the chats that you have had with your prospects in social media. Okay, and again, do the same thing. Look at how you could have added some words or removed something, added something here, added some questions, and how that could have changed the whole direction of that talk. Okay, and now try it out with new prospects. And then once you have done that with enough number of people and you have really mastered that, the first small segment of approaching someone, now guess what? Of course, you have become good at it, but the side effect is now you don't have the hesitation to approach anyone. See, a lot of this hesitation comes from not knowing what exactly to do. When you know very clearly, exactly, specifically what should I do in that first 2 minutes, or the first 10 conversations or chat messages that I have when I connect with everyone, when you very clearly know that, and when you very clearly know what are the possible responses the other person can give you, and you have answers and solutions for each of those possible approaches or the possible questions the other person might ask, now there is no hesitation. Now you're having fun. Now you actually want to go out and do more of that thing. Okay, so really nailing down this first part not only makes you good at it, but now it also gives you the confidence and desire to want to do a lot more of that. Okay, now once you nail that down, then move on to the next part. Okay, perfecting the next part, which is, qualifying the prospect. All right, how do you sort them and separate good ones from bad ones? How do you qualify people, whether it's on phone or in person or even on social media? Okay, so we are going to practice all this with a whole lot of prospects during these 30 days. Learning and practicing. That's how we are going to master anything. Okay, now my goal is for each one of you to have at least 1,000 partners with whom you can practice this for the next 30 days. Okay, so like I said, when you're practicing something with one person, whether it is kicking a ball or hitting a shot or moving a chess piece across the board, your goal every time need not be winning in that particular practice session. All right, it can be getting better at one specific area. Maybe it is the opening of the chess game. Okay, you want to really perfect that part. So It need not be winning all the time in that particular interaction. Once you keep getting better and better and perfect that, winning will happen automatically. Okay. Now, how many practice sessions do you think these top paid soccer players and cricketers do to earn the kind of money that they earn today? Definitely more than 1,000, right? And if they're still playing the game, they're still practicing and perfecting that. So my goal for each one of you is to find these 1,000 partners with whom you can practice it for the next 30 days. It doesn't matter where you find them from, from your contacts, people whom you've already spoken to, doesn't matter. We are practicing this game, which is, once we master this, it is going to remain here for the rest of your life. All right. This is one skill which you don't have to relearn every time. And this is not going to make you successful only in business. This is going to change your whole life forever. All right. So now, once you have this as your goal, you are not worried about what they think of you. You're not worried about them judging you. But now, you are the one judging them. You are the one studying them. Oh, this person hates network marketing. I wonder why. Let me try and find out what exactly the reason is. Because in the past, when I tried to handle their objection with my answers, they were becoming more and more closed. So let me try different this time. Okay, let me try and find out. Let me try and understand why somebody thinks that way. Is it because they failed in the business in the past, or they know somebody who has failed, or is it because they signed up, or somebody they know who signed up in some scam company? It was not really network marketing. Now, how do I find this out? If I ask them the question directly, maybe they might not answer. So, let me see how I can do this. All right. This is an interesting case. This partner kicks the ball this way. So let me see how I can go and get that ball, or maybe, somebody who is successful in their professional career, okay, they have this fear of, or the stigma of network marketing. So how do I handle that? Let me try and learn, how to do that. Or you meet up somebody who is so negative, negative in life, basically. And then you're thinking, I wonder what made this person so negative. Is it insecurity? Is it? Let me see how I can find out. Okay, maybe I don't even want this guy in my business if the person is so negative. But let me try and find out how to have and hold that conversation with this kind of people, and let me see if I can maybe turn them away from being negative. Okay, maybe they will never join the business, but it gives me some ideas on how to talk to people who are so extremely negative. Okay, and how do I do that without insulting them? The last few times I tried talking to these negative people, I ended up being aggressive and they got offended. So now let me try and do this a little bit differently. Okay, and let me ask this question. And when you ask that question, maybe they got offended again. Doesn't matter. So, oh my God, never mind. Move on to the next person. All right. So this 30 days and these people that we find, this is our social experiment. Okay. Experiment for us to learn and master this skill of human communication, influence, convincing people, all that stuff. And when you have that mindset, do you know how powerful that is? See, that is that one mindset alone is going to be a game changer. And all this while you're afraid of being weak or getting judged by other people, now with this different new mindset, you are not afraid of that anymore. You are the one who's actually judging them, whether they get aggressive, whether they are making fun of you. Now you want to, oh, why is that guy making fun of me? Interesting. You know, maybe they're insecure. You know, let's try and find out. You know, let me see how I can engage such a person in a conversation. All right. And then whatever works, you collect it, you keep it, you keep writing it down in your book. Okay. So for this 30 days, I recommend you to have one book just dedicated for this purpose. Okay. You, all the notes, your experience, the lessons you learn, the scripts that I will give you, the scripts that you get from other people who share in the group, or the scripts that you discover by yourself through the practice, everything, collect in this one book. So when you really understand what I just said in this video so far, that will remove your fear of what others will think of you, your fear of other people judging you. With this one change in mindset, that fear is gone forever, vanished just like that. And for some of you, you might have to re-listen to this a few more times so that you really get it, you really understand it. Okay. And this is just the part A of your mindset training. All right. So watch this as many times as you can till my words become your words. Okay. I want to repeat that. I want you to watch this as many times till my words become your words. Now, when that happens, my thoughts will become your thoughts also. And just imagine for a second how powerful you would be when your natural thought comes from that mindset. All right. I love you so much. I am super excited to take this journey with you. All right. I thank you for the love and trust you have put in me. As you can see, I'm doing, I will put in my 100%. And I know that you are going to do it also. All right. So love you all. And I will see you in the part B of the mindset video. All right.